Hello, everyone. It is B with the B code again. So, I am here again doing another live, what I consider a live taping. And I would like to say thank you to all of my subscribers and participate in my live. Thank you very much. Please do not hesitate to hit the thumbs up, watch the video later. So, with that being said, I don't know if Kevin Samuels changed the mindset of Black men, but I do know he a certain phrase to life when it comes to Black women. Maybe women of all colors, but I just know that Black women are the number one hit the wall. So apparently at age 38, uh, Black women are no longer that desirable to a man, and if he is seen with a woman older than the age of 38, because that's the age they say we've hit the wall, it pretty much would equate to him settling, right? So I did write some notes here to keep me on topic and to not get distracted and go off into a rant and just, really um, not stick closely to my point. So I did a little research before I came on here because I said, um, let me see what, Google says about hitting the wall. Their definition and description was basically um, geared more toward athletes and not so much on a relationship level. So what I did was I took it from the athlete and put it in terms of relationship, right? So what I came up with was hit the wall, um, experience a sudden loss of energy, right? So I guess basically what Black men are now saying is that if you're 38 and up, you lack the energy it takes to um, be in a relationship or a marriage, right? Also, not having the youthful looks of a girl, right? Um, as we know, Black men, they like to feel as if spending their money, they're getting a good product, right? We know they like the name brand, everything. It makes them feel more of a man. It makes them feel successful. It makes them feel as if, they're getting what do they say? A lot for their bucks, right? And then especially in the long term, they feel as if they get a younger woman, she's gonna last longer than a 38-year-old. So a 38-year-old in 10 years will be 48, right? Versus having a 20-year-old who in 10 years will only be 30. So basically, what they're saying is that they want to get 10 good years out of you for their money, for taking care of you, for their time. Basically, this is what they're saying. So, also, hitting the wall could mean not having the stamina to keep up with a man or the number of children he decides you need in order to keep you busy, right? Keep you busy, tied down, something to do all day, every day when he's around or when he isn't around, right? Um, Basically, when he's out seeing other women or when he's out at work. Some men are stationary in their jobs, but they work long hours. Other men travel. So they want to make sure that you are as busy as possible while they're away. So if one wants you to have, so if two kids aren't enough, or they're getting to an age to where they can start doing, they'll pretty much they'll pretty much dump another baby on you, basically. So really, you think you're deciding you're going to have in this relationship, but he's actually deciding. Some men only want one. They figure one is enough. The more children you have, the less attention he gets. If he's really there for your attention and not a place to lay his head and be cared for, and this is where his emotions are. Because a lot of times, the men will have you sitting at home thinking that he's emotionally attached to you when actually the only thing he is attached to is the fact that he can somewhat trust you, because they never really trust you fully, but he can trust you. It means he trusts you with his materialistic items. He trusts you with a portion of his finances. He trusts, whether you're leasing or he's bought a home. He trusts you with that information. Um, he trusts that you his all of his things will be safe and secure in your care. So a lot of times they'll have you there for that purpose, but then they'll still go out and be with other women, as far as pleasure. Because once you have children, I mean, your your sexual attraction declines. This is why you see a lot of women, right after they have children. It's so very important for them to be in the gym, get in there, so that they regain their desirability when it comes to their mate, right? Uh, being Hitting the wall is also can be interpreted as being past the stage where a man's wealth and materialistic items draw you into a fantasy, right? So a lot of times when you're dating as a young girl who basically has nothing, because this is how they want you to come. They want you to come inexperienced. They don't want you to come with a good paying job. You can have a car, your parents have bought you a car, but you just really don't know or have touched a lot of money. You're not driving the most fancy car or the most expensive car. I mean, you're basically, you're maintaining still a kid life. So at 38, you're not mesmerized by an apartment, a house, a car, his finances, his clothes, his shoes, his cologne, his ability to take you to fancy restaurants, because 9 times out of 10, you've been there. You just never got married. Um, I can always reflect and remember the days where I was taken to expensive restaurants. I dated men that had nice cars. I dated men that, were basically crazy over me, and I was a teen mom. So it didn't really stop me because I was still young. So at 38, you've had a few jobs, you've done a few things for yourself, you've had a few things done for you by men. So all of these materialistic items that would have awed you and put you in fantasy land at say 18 to 25, I mean, it's just really not there anymore. At 25, you're pretty much saying to yourself, oh, okay, he got a lot of nice stuff. Okay, wow, this is nice. This is cool. He's doing really good for himself. Well, I can see myself being with him, sure. You understand what I'm saying? But at 38, you're like, okay, yeah, nice, dude, good. You're doing good. But you have already been in relationships to where you're thinking like, where's his angle? What's his angle at married, or maybe you've gotten married and divorced, experienced. And you're really saying to yourself, what does this person want from me? Right? But at a very young age, you're just chippery and you're happy and you're fun loving and you're excited about everything. Oh, we're going here today. Oh, we're going here today. You're excited at 38. You're just like, dude, I need some sleep, right? Um, at a very young age, you're basically looking at if you don't have any goals or aspirations, your parents didn't send you to college, you didn't you don't have these big dreams and aspirations, yeah, you're going to be excited about the things that this man can provide for you if he wants to be with you. So you're willing to go. Um, Hitting the wall can also be interpreted as being unable to keep up with a man's childish emotional needs. I hate to say it like that, but dude, some of these men's needs are just like, how old are you? 5, right? How old are you? Um, Young girls, they're still in their babysitting stage, right? They're still at that age where they think it's fun to babysit kids. Oh, I'm going to make $100 this weekend babysitting kids. So they don't mind at that age meeting the emotional needs of children. So when you have a man that has childish emotional needs, a younger girl, will be willing to fulfill those needs. A 38-year-old is like, dude, grow up. Like, really, you want me to do that? Like, do I really need to cut your steak up? You know what I'm saying? Do I really need to do every single little thing for you as if you can't do them for yourself? I mean, do I really need to? It's nice to tell somebody times today, right? You called 17 times. I'm still in the same spot. I'm still at home. I'm still doing the same thing. I love you goes without saying. I'm here, so that means I have some type of love for you. So don't get upset because I didn't say I loved you. We got off the phone, right? But a young girl, she thinks it's cute. Oh, okay, love you too. She's just that chippery little girl, and a 38-year-old is like, okay, can we get down to business? Um, Being 38 and over, um, you don't have that same enthusiasm or mesmerization of keeping up a home's appearance. You're like, okay, the dishes are clean, the counter is wiped off, the floor is mopped, the pillows are on the couch, there's no toys under there, it's vacuumed, the clothes are put away, um, the bathroom is clean, we got plenty of toilet paper, we got soap, we don't need anything. You're like, whew, right? A younger girl would be like, "Oh, okay, look, I just fluffed the pillows on the couch." She's on the phone with her friends. "Oh, look at these new pillows I just bought." And, "Oh my God, look at the dishes. I just went shopping for dishes. And, he told me it was okay to go get towels today. Yay. Look at this. Look at how I decorated the hallway. And I got family pictures of us up on the wall." A 38-year-old is like, "Whew, this place is clean. I can sit down. I can lay down. And as a matter of fact, next week, I'm throwing some of this stuff away because it's just too much, right?" So, I mean, hey, and it's okay if to them, but at the same time, why does it have to be that a woman that's 38 and up is basically, you know, uh, not the fun girl anymore, right? It just means that her fun button is in other places, right? So it doesn't intrigue her anymore to go to this expensive restaurant and drink expensive wine. We can do that at home, right? Um, it doesn't make her feel good to service you and your friends when they want to come over and watch the game. She's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get y'all all something to drink this one time, but after that, you guys are gonna have to, get up and get it yourself, or I'm gonna sit this over here, help yourself." A young girl is more like, "Oh, okay, I gotta go. I gotta go in the kitchen. The guys, they want some more to drink." You know, 38 and over, we like, get it yourself, right? And that's okay. So, what does it mean to a black man when he says you hit the wall? Basically, what he's saying is that he's telling you, 38 and over, that you have come to a point in life where you won't be or are not capable of making any further progress in a relationship or are too difficult to deal with. That's what he's telling you. That's what his mindset is. That's what their mindsets are today, right? You have hit the wall. You aren't going any further. You're too difficult to deal with. You have too many relationship experiences. Um, your, your body count is high. Um, you are just, you don't hold any more value. I mean, you you have given all away you have given away all your value from 18 to 37, and basically they're telling you that you're used up, right? So I just think that a woman that has reached 38 years old, since we want to put 38, I just think that she has reached a level of maturity to where she's now capable of desiring a man that has reached their maturity as well. So, in a sense, it appears as if black men are Toys R Us kids. They don't want to grow up. Because when you are a 40, 50, 60-year-old man and you still have your mindset fixed on a little girl, it says a lot about your mindset as a man, as a mature man. Are you mature enough? You want it easy. You want easy women. You don't want to work for you don't want a mature woman. You want a little girl. And it says a lot about you. And that little girl, although we may think she's not capable of coming to that conclusion herself, she is. Um, but that's a young girl who sees the value in the guy's age. She doesn't want to be a housewife yet. She doesn't want to be a mother yet. She wants to go out and she wants to have fun. And so this is where you will see these older men get these younger girls, and then they pretty much run into behavioral problems like they would with a child. Because basically, she is still a child, but she's old enough to be in a relationship or a marriage. So you just kind of have to say to yourself, like, why don't you want to grow up? Why do you still want to date these younger girls, right? You will also have older men in their late 30s, 50s, 60s, and they have grown kids or they have teenage kids, but yet and still they want to get a young girl and start all over again making babies. So that's another thought, that you would have. But see, you're a mother. If you are a mother and you have young daughters, you are going to you're going to be talking to your daughter, and you're going to be telling them that it's not a good look. This man, these older men that are they're too old for you. You're gonna if something happens to them, God forbid, they have a stroke, um, they get into, something, and something can happen to anybody, but the older you get, the more chance of heart attack, stroke, different things of that nature. You will be stuck raising a child on your own. You will be a single mother, and you might even be a young widow. And what does that say for your future, right? That says that you will or have now fallen into that hit the wall category. So this man came into your life as a 50-year-old, married you, uh, you had a couple of babies with him, and then he died. Now you're a single widow. So what, pretty much what is that saying? Versus these men, or versus her dating men within her age range, and these older men refocusing that, hey, what am I thinking? Like, I'm basically being greedy. I've already had my young girl. Now I want another one. Now I'm going to start all over again after my youngest is now 22. Now I'm going to date a 22-year-old. I'm going to date a 23-year-old. I'm going to date a 25-year-old. I mean, that really says a lot about a man's mindset, right? And then they don't only have one young girl at home. They're out here in the streets and they're dating other young girls. So it's just like a young girl thing. Hey, if that's what you like, that's fine. If that's what she like, that's fine. But they're all going to eventually hit the wall. And then what's going to become of them? You're just using them till they hit the wall and, tossing them to the side and going to the next one. It just really kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, right? Um, it also means to a black man that as a young girl, you lack a sense of real world life experiences. right? You lack real world life experiences with men, money, and fending for yourself. So basically, at a very, very young age, you don't have many life experiences. So if he gets you while you're young, you're basically going to be dependent on him, or he's going to rear you to be dependent at a young age. At like, dude, like, you know, make an insurance policy, make sure he has an insurance, make sure you take, once he passes, make sure you and your kids are going to be taken care of once he passes, because if he leaves you with kids and broke, and you have time, you haven't worked all this time, you have no skills, you have no education, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, I'm just saying, you know, um, I'm just saying, right? So what they're also saying is basically you just you at 38, you no longer have the ability to fall in love. You don't believe in love anymore. You don't believe in fantasy. You don't believe in the White House and the picket fence. You don't believe that um, pretty much in the fantasy anymore, because of the simple fact of, right? So let me make sure I went through everything. Right. So much. I mean, this is what they're saying when they say you hit the wall. What a black man is saying. You're no longer desirable. You're no longer worth pouring into. You're too old. You don't have the stamina. You don't have the drive. Um, and you just don't you just don't have it. But that's what he's telling you. There was another wall that I found when I was on Google. And this was called the proverbial wall, hitting the proverbial wall. So it means, and I think this is uh, pretty much what Kevin Samuels um, was dealing with when he was talking to these women, right? The proverbial wall. Seeing yourself married, but being an unsuitable mate according to the ideals of, and being an ineffectual woman to the men of today. I'll repeat that. The proverbial wall. Seeing yourself married, but being an unsuitable mate according to the ideals, and being an effectual woman to the men of today. Is even if you're still looking good, even if you have no children, and even if you are or are not self sufficient, they still consider you to be too old and not up for the job or the task or whatever, right? I mean, it's neither here nor there. Um, this is how the women that were coming on his show, how they viewed themselves. They're like, oh, I can see the marriage line. I can see the wedding ring. I want this type of a wedding. He has to make this X amount of dollars. I want this many kids. I want more kids. Yes, I've been divorced, but I see myself being married again. So this is where he was saying that basically you're delusional. You're delusional because you can see yourself married, but in reality, the ideals of these men, they're not looking to marry you because you hit the wall. And the fact that women, black women, are so male centered, they're believing this. They're believing this. So this is causing a lot of women to say, "Oh, I've hit the wall. I'm too old. He doesn't want me." And now you're depressed. You're scraping and scrounging. For men, you're settling, and this, that, and the third. And it might be true, but you shouldn't do that. You should never allow someone to tell you who you are and to tell you what your worth is. If they can't see your worth, that's their that a 30 to 38-year-old woman or 38 and up year old woman. Now listen, as far as babies are concerned, was I think I was 38 when I had my last son. I was 38. Yeah, I was 38 because he's 10, I'm 8. Yes, I was 38. Um, it can be done. At 38, you you have more life experience. You've been around a few kids, so you have that level of maturity to deal with your children appropriately, right? Making sure they learn how to read, making sure they learn how to write, making sure they get to and from school every day, being consistent with school, being stable in your mind, which causes you to be stable in your home life, right? Being stable with your finances. But a young girl, her ideals can change, right? So and then even once she reaches a certain age, her ideals might change. So we have a lot of women that are out here that are divorced. They got tired of being cheated on. Um, they are saying that they grew apart from their husband, all those things. And it is primarily because they got married so young that they didn't have the opportunity to find out who they were, experience life for themselves by themselves with the freedom to do so. So now they're feeling like, damn, I'm in my 40s right now, or I'm 38, I'm 39, and I haven't just done for me, right? I don't mind still doing for the kids, but I can just do for me minus the man and just really find some peace and maybe a, a, a more realistic sense of happiness. Because if these men are going to tell you that they're telling you that you've hit the wall, then that means they're telling you what your happiness is and what makes you happy and what you should be doing to maintain this happiness that he's telling you that you have, right? So let me, as a 48-year-old woman, mother of four, working woman with a career, tell you how to handle yourself in this lifetime as a 38-year-old and above woman, or as a woman that these black men describe as hitting the wall, right? Number one, do what you want to do and bask in the free will that you have to the fullest. There is nothing like free will. There is nothing like being free to do whatever it is you want to do when you want to do it and not a minute before or a minute after. If you if you were married as a young girl, you pretty much don't know this. I mean, they want you to check in out with them. They want to make sure you're at home. They got GPS systems on your phone, tracking devices on your phone. They're looking at your text messages through the phone company to see who you're talking to, looking at on the phone with each phone call. They looking at how much money you spend. They're looking at they're looking, evaluating, and assessing everything because mind you, remember, as a young girl in her late teens, 20s, and 30s, and he's in his 40s and 50s. He's well versed on women. You're the dummy in the relationship. So he knows how to keep track of you and track you and monitor your activities and monitor your spending. He knows how to do all that. You're the dummy in a situation that doesn't know. He knows how to hide his stuff very well. How often have we heard, "Oh, he had a second cell phone and I didn't even know about it. I didn't even know he had a a tracking system on my car to where he was watching everywhere I went. He had a whole nother family down the street and I never knew about it." Because while he's well versed and well experienced with all different types of women, ages, sizes, financial backgrounds, uh, status as far as married, single, believe me, these men have dated every type of woman there is in the world. It is you, the young girl, that is inexperienced. So even though they're saying they want a young girl, they don't want just any young girl. Because, see, all young girls are not young in the mind. You got a lot of smart ones out here. And every now and again, he gets hoodwinked up, destroying what he's built. I remember I had that video. I don't know if I put it private or not, but the, the guy had a nice apartment. It just looked like a man lived there. It did not look like a woman lived there. I don't know if she didn't get a chance to put her touch on it. I don't know if he wouldn't allow her to. I don't know what the hell was going on, but it looked like a straight man's pad. There was no flowers. There was no curtains. The couches were square. It just didn't have no shape to it. It just looked really cold and masculine. Right? So I guess he had gotten his apartment and then he he did like he was directed to by these black men, and he went and found him a young girl who didn't have nothing, and he brought her to his house. I guess he ended up trying to discipline her or something. And so she fought back, called the cops, and then when he went to jail, she was in there his tearing his house to pieces. And listen here, it's not funny, but it's funny, right? Because he got caught. Like I said, every now and again, they pick up the wrong young girl. They pick up the young girl that mm-mm, she's been around the block a few times. And so he got hoodwinked and he got bamboozled, right? So she was probably pretty much there to see what she can get out of him. Wasn't intended on staying, wasn't intended on being a wife, wasn't intended on having no kids with him. She was just there for the meantime, in between time, right? So you for these, young, fit, feminine, and friendly women, you might just run up on the wrong one like this guy did. Also, I read this guy's book. I forget the name of it. I don't know. I might try to find it. But he did the same thing. He got his house and he furnished it, did everything, and then he started dating this young girl. Well, he brought her back to his house, of course, and moved her in. They had plans on, I don't know if they had plans on getting married. He was guided to the fact that he should he should get her young because he can mold and train her, right? So he said in this book, he said he brought this girl back to his house and she was nothing like he was expecting her to be. She didn't want to clean. She didn't want to stay at home. He found out I think she was an alcoholic. All these these different types of things. So what I'm saying is that when you think them young, when you think you're getting them young, you have some women, some young girls who have already started the fun phase, right? Especially if you get them at 21 and up, they're of drinking age, right? They're of drinking age. So they may have already started clubbing, they may have already started drinking, they probably already smoke weed, they're used to running the streets. So when you try to pick up one of them alley cats and make them a home cat, it's not going to work. You just disappointing yourself. And now you have a bad outlook on all women, right? So that's the number one thing to do. Do what you want to do and bask in it and bask in it to the fullest, right? Bask in your free will to the fullest, right? Number two, the number two way to handle yourself as a 38 and up year old woman who has been described as hitting the wall. If you have children, pour into them. Pour into your children and help them be as successful as possible, no matter what their age is, right? So if you have found yourself in a situation to where you're 38 years old, you have one, two, three, four, five, 6 kids, 7 kids, however many kids you have, and you have come to terms with the fact that this is these black men's mindsets. It doesn't seem like they plan on changing them anytime soon. This is the way it is, and this is the way they're going to spend their money. Then you need to be busy. You need to have something else to do, because a relationship at this point in time and your age and your number of kids and your marital status and all these different things that come into play with these black men, um, you're you're going to be disappointed. Come to terms with that. You're not what they want, and busy yourself in other areas of your life, right? Nobody say you have to be celibate. Nobody say you're never going to have sex again. But as far as looking for a husband and being realistic about it, right? You had a lot of those women come on Kevin Samuel's show, and they're still over there on that other girl's dating show, and they're still talking about uh, six-figure men. They're still talking about getting married. They're still talking about their divorce. They still look a hot mess. They're still not refined. They have not changed one bit, right? They're still coming on camera looking crazy. They're still delusional and everything in between all of that, right? If you have children, pour into your children. Make sure your children become successful, right? If they need financial help, help them. If they need housing, help them. If they need transportation, help your kids. I mean, you had them, they're there. You can't just turn away from them and not help them because you're looking for a man. You're still looking to get needs that you have already had fulfilled. You've already had your relationship needs fulfilled. You have kids. You already have your child care needs fulfilled. You have kids. Maybe sometime in between that time, a man took care of you. You've already had that. Move out the way so these young girls can get the ass whooping that they need from these men, right? Because they have pretty much fixed their mouths to we old, we some old hags. They're policing our hairstyles, which I really don't disagree with them too much. I think two ponytails, for a 38 to and up woman, I think that's kind of childish. It really says a lot about, who you are on the inside. Like you still think like a child, right? I can see if you're going to, I don't know, if you're going to the club that night and you just want to, I don't know, reminisce on your younger days, who knows? But as far as an everyday hairstyle to be worn while you're conducting business or at work or different things, and I just don't agree. Maybe two low ponytails with the two, maybe some two goddess braids coming down. That's kind of fine. But the two ponytails that's actually sitting up here that have you looking like Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse and all that kind of shit, I really don't think that's an appropriate hairstyle for older women. I don't even think it's an appropriate hairstyle for an 18-year-old. I mean, you're not a child anymore. It's pretty, I don't know, worn out at least even for a 16-year-old. Like that's like a 12-year-old hairstyle. And once you hit 13, you're in your teens. Why are you wearing two ponytails, right? Anyway, as a way to handle yourself in this lifetime, being a 38 woman at wall that are old and out of the game of getting married. With those, they come to you with those get rich quick plans, right? So every now and again, you have these men that have described you as being not useful, right? I don't want to deal with, oh, I'm not with her, then a third, I don't know. But then you do still young men, no, I would just pretty much say men of all ages, right? Because a lot of them aren't capable of requiring a woman to be a, a certain age and they don't have the finances to take care of her, right? So you'll have those men that will want to interact with you, I'll say, but not interact with you for anything long term and not interact with you for the end game of getting married. The only reason why they're interacting with you is because they need resources, whether it be finances, whether it be you to do something for them, run around for them. Um, they might be looking for someone to help them with their kids. They might have custody of their kids or looking for somebody to help them with their kids. So there's always going to be a man out there that will be willing to utilize your resources, but only to the point where they've exhausted them or you got tired of giving them. But it's never because they want to marry you. It's never because they want to be with you. It's never because they want a relationship with you. They need something from you. So they're going to tell you, still fine, still beautiful, it's whatever. They're going to tell you all that. So beware of those types of men, right? Number 4, the fourth thing you can do to handle yourself in this lifetime as a 38-year-old woman who has been described as hitting the wall is think back to all of the relationships, whether long term or short term, you've had, and figure out why they didn't last. Because this will keep you from longing to be tied down in another one. You've experienced the men, you've experienced the breakups, you've experienced the reasons. You've experienced all these things, and let me tell you, honey, these men are not changing. The only thing that they've changed is the age requirement. Because back in, you know, I don't know, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, pretty much before Kevin Samuel came out with all this mess, 38 was not hitting the wall. A woman not really not there in that space if she had reached menopause. So menopause was the thing. Oh, you can't have kids anymore. Basically, what am I going to do? What are we going to do? Right? So these men, they still have it in their minds to conquer you and tie you down with kids. And so they figure 38 is too old for you to be having kids. So what am I going to tie her down with? If her kids are grown, or if she has a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 9-year-old, a baby that can really fend for themselves, what am I going to tie her down with? She has the capabilities of being all in my business. She has the capabilities of hopping in her car and locating me, catching me. She knows how to use these devices as well, these tracking devices, and she knows how to check the phone bill and and call the company and get a transcription of text messages. She knows how to do all those things. Time on her hands. These men are diabolical, right? It's almost like having a caged animal. They want you to be a caged animal while they feed you and visit you when they want to, and treat you how they want to treat you, and let you out of the cage, aka the house, when they feel like it, and make you stay in the house all goddamn day cooped up. You can't go outside until they get home, and then even when they get home, there's still no guarantee he's going to take you for a walk. All that. Terrible, right? Number 5, enjoy your freedom. Every time you think about getting into a relationship, get up and walk out the door. You say, why? Why do I need to get up and walk out the door? Because you're free, bitch. You're free. I may be black. I may be ugly, but I'm free. You get to go and come as you please, right? Anytime you think about, think back to really think back when you were in those relationships. God damn, you had to tell this motherfucker everywhere you went. Nigga, I'm at the grocery store. I'm at my mama's house. I'm hanging out with my girlfriend. Uh, you know, know, I'm in the backyard. I'm on a fucking toilet. What do you you know what I'm saying? Back. Him asking you why you buy that. What you need that for? You didn't need that. You just wasted money. You know? No, you ain't going nowhere. Give me them keys. Cook me something to eat. Rub my feet. Give me a back massage. Wash my hair. Iron my clothes. You're not doing that right. You're free. Do you really want to go back to that? I mean, honestly, you think you want to go back to that, but you don't. Here's the thing. I'm not a person that's caught up in appearances. In my personal life, I don't give a shit what people think. I mean, I should start taking pictures of myself literally when I get up and go out the door. I don't care what people think. I'm free. I'm comfortable. I can buy what I want. I can eat what I want. I mean, yeah, it would be a good thing to watch my weight and lose some weight, but for fucking what? I'll do it when I get ready, not a minute before and not a minute after. Right now, I'm comfortable. I'm feeling good. I can eat what I want. I can go where I want. I can buy what I want. I can do what I want. If you have the freedom to do all those things, why would you want to get into a relationship with some man who wants to control you? And even if he's not that type of a man, even if he's not, just let's say, for example, like, you have a man and you have your husband, he's cool as pie. He's cool as pie, right? You can still do all those things that you want to do, and he don't have no problem with it. It's still the fact that you want to do, because you still have this person sitting here judging you whether they're verbalizing it or not. You don't know what's in that man's mind. Like I said, these men, they minds blow with the wind. He might be planning on leaving your ass next week and you just don't know. Think about not having to long for someone's validation or seek someone's validation or do everything the right way because he might leave you, or even if it's not even that. But think about not cleaning up the house and then him saying, oh, you don't clean like you used to. Or think about how you used to cook 5 days a week. Now you only cook 3 days a week, and now he's upset because think about all the socks and the underwear and the phone calls and the worrying about who's texting him. And, well, all that stressful, very, very, very stressful. So why, at the age of maturity, I guess 38 and up, why would you not want to obtain full peace and serenity? Why would you want to keep chasing around these men who don't take you seriously, who'll leave you at the drop of a dime, who's cheating on you, right? Who doesn't value you? And I'm not saying that about every relationship. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? If you are 38 and up and you still have your husband, you still have your man, and things are working out perfectly for you, wonderful. I applaud you. I applaud your man, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever it is. I applaud you guys, right? Stay together. Don't break up. Um, there's one last one, right? As a 38 and up year old woman being described by black men as having hit the wall, you need to put up a defensive wall. How about that? You need to put up a defensive wall. I knew that bitch fucked my teeth up. See, I knew that fucking whore. Okay, why? Because it protects your self-esteem. These men out here, you look 38 and up, they know you're 30. They are so uh, uh, well versed on, they can sniff out a young girl and they can sniff out an old lady, right? What they consider to be an old lady. With the battle that's going on between Black women and Black men today, they are not looking to build you up, whether they're in a relationship or not with you. They're looking to tear you down. So they want to make you feel some type of way because you're 38 and up. If you know who you are, you're secure in yourself, and your hands aren't idle and your mind is not idle. You really won't give a fuck. You ain't got time to give a fuck, right? You got to get to the grocery store. You got to get these kids some groceries. You got to pay this rent. You got to pay these bills. Who has time to think about what a man is thinking about you that you don't even know? But you see, they have their little sly ways of trying to diss, and it's like, it's like, dude, ooh, isn't it weave time for you? Shouldn't you be going to the barber shop and getting some of that Kenkaline hair that we use in our head to cover that right there? Uh, Last time I looked, you had gray hair too, right? So don't let the fact that they feel like 38 and up is hit the wall and you're supposed to just start boo-hooing and crying and different things of that nature. No, you. Oh my, okay. Oh, oh my goodness. This is my internet. Ooh, look at that one. Huh? Ooh, ooh. Uh, okay. Oh, are you back? Are are we there yet? Are we there yet? We're not there yet. Are we there yet? Okay. I want to be talking to myself. Are we there? Everybody and their mama must be on this internet. Uh, okay, come on. Okay, well, let me eat some cherries while I'm waiting for this. Uh, uh, I'm just now. Get it together. No. To the end, and now what's this? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna end this live. These I don't know. I was putting it on the internet. Um, So let me see. Mm-mm. I'm going to do this. I'm not about to play. I'm not about to play. Not at all. Not at all, not at all, not at all.